The guys, the attitudes have been A+++. It's been a fun off season, and it's been very productive. I feel like every guy that was here got the most out of every day here, and that's all you really can ask for. There are a couple little things you might be looking at from practice. Snoop has a little tendonitis in his shoulder from all the throws, so we just gave him the rest the last 2 days on that, so he'll be fine. Jalen had an ankle sprain from yesterday. You saw that, so that's why we held him out. And Nick Boyle just had the day off for, he's in his rotation. I don't know if there's anybody else. You got any questions, anybody else that way, since we're at this point in time in the year?
You have an update on Gus, JK, or Ronnie Stanley?
Yeah. Ronnie is. I'd say they're all on schedule. But what is the schedule? The knee injuries are a little tougher to say what the schedule really is. So you talk to JK. He's a starting running back today. He should have been practicing today. But he's got work to do still. So does Gus. But they're both, I think, doing great. We'll see how they look when they come back and all that. Who's the other person? Oh, Ronnie. Ronnie's ankle is looking great. Ronnie's mission right now will be to get in the best shape of his life and get ready to play football, and that's what he's working on.
Is it too early to say if any of those guys would be day one of training camp?
It is. Yeah, I think they all have a chance, but we'll see.
Are you still hopeful that I know it's a long way from the start of the season. I think we're still 80-plus days. But you're still hopeful that all those guys will be ready for the start of the season?
Hopeful, yeah.
John, with Ronnie being out, we've seen Juwan James and Morgan Moses move over to the left side. How have they looked? And is that kind of the silver lining that you do have a lot of options as far as if Ronnie isn't ready to go? That's exactly the silver lining. We've got two veteran guys. We have a young guy in Daniel who has looked good. He's a young kid. He's a big man. I saw some of the stuff about you guys talk about getting in shape, and yeah, he's working his way into kind of NFL type conditioning as a tackle. But that's, man, he's almost, what is he? I don't know. I do know, but he's up there, and it's good weight. So, he's going to learn how to play at this level with this speed. I'm certain of it. And then Jared Jones-Smith is doing a really nice job. So we got 5 good tackles, I feel like, there. Then you got with Ronnie in there. One other thing I'd like to mention was the HBCU scholarship kids are here. The Ozzie Newsome scholarship that Steve and Renee did. So the first 20 scholarship recipients are here with their families today, and it's a huge celebration. Just great, applause for Steve and Renee for what they're doing, for those scholarships, for these kids. He told the team that his dream is that these scholarship recipients in the future become the leaders of Baltimore and the leaders of Maryland. That's his goal, and that's what it'll be. And it's 20 scholars every year going forward. So it's an awesome deal. Congrats to Steve, and the players are over there shaking their hands, so it was neat to see.
We'll resend the information so you guys have all the information in regards to
Coach, in terms of the rookies, have you seen a transition as far as them trying to get adjusted as far as in stamina and just being able to adapt to the NFL game right now?
Definitely. I would say they've, kind of gotten themselves accustomed to this phase. They've been in OTA phase now for 4 weeks, and that's a lot. It's a lot of practice. So they seem comfortable. You saw Isaiah Likely out there making catches, and Josh Oliver's not a rookie. You saw him making catches, but I feel like those guys they're kind of acclimated to this. Now the next step will be training camp. That'll be a shock for them. Then they'll have to get acclimated to that. Then there'll be the preseason games. That'll be a shock for them. And then the regular season. So it's kind of that process.
John, I'm not as specific on Pierce. I know you said your piece on him, but is this anything you see could jeopardize training camp for him or no?
Yeah, absolutely not. Okay. It's not anything like that. He's healthy, he's good. It's just a personal matter with his family, and that's what it is.
What's kind of been your impressions with Mike Davis, veteran running back out there?
Very positive about Mike Davis. He shows up as a veteran running back, quick, got real good vision, and he's always been a good receiving running back. But when you see it in person, it kind of opens your eyes. And so I'll say Tyler Batty too is a receiving running back. These guys kind of jumped out that way in these camps.
John, you won't see a lot of these guys for several weeks now. Is there a parting message as these guys go off and what you anticipate or expect of them?
Yeah. Well, Steve gave that message. Coach Bisciotti gave that message, and I think it was really appreciated because he talked about the culture, and he talked about we like people that add to our culture, not people that detract from our culture. And he asked him for no drama. So I don't have any concerns about these guys at all, but we look forward to seeing them in a few weeks.
Coach, what are your thoughts on Dalen Hayes and what he's strung together in OTAs and minicamp and some of your other young outside linemen?
Yeah, I think all those guys. Dalen's a great example of it, and all those guys, they're flashing and they're showing some good things. And the next step will be training camp. Get to the quarterback as much as we allow him to when the pads come on, and then in the games and all that. But he has flashed. He knows the defense. He's very confident out there right now. So, and there's a lot of guys like that.
Coach, it's only been day 3, but how do you see the connection with Lamar and the new guys, especially the tight ends? And also we see a lot of good catches from Patrick Ricard as well.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I feel like, Lamar's been here 3 days. It's all it's been. And it didn't feel like you had a lack of chemistry. Now, there were things that he and I talked about in the field, communication things, cadence things, some of the new offensive stuff. That's not stuff he was here for to immerse himself in through the OTAs. That's the only thing. And that's something we easily make up in training camp. But as far as the throwing and the catching and the targeting and all that, and what you're saying, the playmaking stuff, I was happy to see that, and I was wondering about it, how's it going to look? To see it look that good, to see the shape he was in, how well he threw the ball, that was all, for a coach, that's exciting.
John, the team has a good history of undrafted free agents making the 53-man roster. Is it too early to look at an undrafted free agent and say that guy's got a good chance down the road to make the team?
Yeah, it probably is too early to say that he would make the team. But to your point, to say he's a good chance to make the team, we're probably already thinking that way. Yeah, we're looking at guys and probably saying, hey, I think they have a chance, and then they go through the process.
Coach, along with the parting message that Steve got, I don't know if he said anything to the rookies, especially and the younger guys, about just staying in shape here, because this is essentially vacation time for a lot of these guys, including you.
Yeah, I'm going to be in tip-top shape coming back, Jerry. I promise you that. Got a lot of workouts planned.
Have you passed the conditioning test?
And I used to. I used to pass it every year. Now, I never did it with the corners. I had my first couple years I had the safety time, then I had the linebacker time. But when I went to the O-line time, I said, it's time to retire the conditioning test. We did talk to him about that, Jerry. Absolutely. That being really priority one. You're going to get your time, but you also got to commit your time. So there's going to be, there's got to be 2, 3, 4 hours a day, up to 4 hours a day, I think, where they've got to be committed, 4 to 5 days a week to conditioning, and also skills. I know that Lamar and the receivers and tight ends are going to meet in Florida at Florida Atlantic with Willie Taggart, the head coach down there. He's going to host them for some throwing. That's going to be good. So they've all got their plans to do that, and I'll be calling them and asking them how it's going probably. So
4 to 5 days, really?
4 to 5 days a week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's yes. Short answer, yes. They'll do it. I promise you, the guys they know they got to come back in shape. I mean, this is what they do. It really is what they do. And they don't want to toss away everything they gained up till this point.
We do 2 more, guys.
John, there's been so much, I know it's early, but there's been so much attention on the health of this team given all that happened last year. You get through rookie minicamp, you get through rookies, you get through mandatory minicamp, and it's really been, other than a couple minor things, the only guys not out here are the guys that you knew weren't going to be out here. Do you feel like the changes or any adjustments you made are really paid off in that, or, any changes that kind of led to that?
That's a great question, and you really can't know. What did Rumsfeld say? It's an unknowable, something like that. Remember that? Taking you back to Donald Rumsfeld reference. Wow, where does that come from? But I feel like the guys appreciate what we're doing, and I can't wait to take it into training camp and see how it affects us.
John, you mentioned that Ronnie's looking better on his ankle. You've gone without him for about a year and a half, season and a half. Can you speak to the significance of him being back out there and what that would mean for the team, or if he's not?
Right, Mark. It's a great question. I would say this: it depends on how he plays. And I expect him to play like Ronnie Stanley, and he's really motivated to do it. Just talked to him again today. He's chomping at the bit to get back. If he plays like Ronnie Stanley, and even better, then the significance has come almost immeasurable, and that's what we're hoping for.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Yeah.